One of the teams that was a disappointment this year is the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics were just a mess all year, and there were questions about Brad Stevens and his ability to coach this group anymore and whether or not Danny Ainge was going to make the right moves. Well, the moves were Danny Ainge out and Brad Stevens. We just got this late in our show yesterday, Danny Ainge stepping down. But then the surprising news, I think, of Brad Stevens being kicked upstairs, no longer the coach, now moving to president of basketball operations. Let's make this Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Brad Stevens discussing why he's staying with the Celtics.
I think the biggest thing is that I'm passionate about this group of people. I'm passionate about the team that we have. I'm passionate about the people that work in our front office. I'm passionate about our coaching staff, and that's who I've spent all morning with. The people in our sports performance staff. I'm passionate about the whole thing, and I do think that I've got a good insight to our team as Danny now steps away. And so I feel like I've got a good idea about what we do well, what we don't do as well. And I also think, I've been doing this for 8 years. I've been in that locker room with some of those guys for a long time.
That's Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. This is a bit of a surprise, guys.
Is it?
Brad Stevens leaving the sidelines to go to the front office, that's not something I saw. No way.
No, I didn't see it, especially for a coach. I mean, he had success, but he didn't ultimately win a championship. Usually guys that win championships, if they decide to take a break, they could go upstairs, get kicked upstairs. But when you don't win and you get taken out in the first round and you've been exited out of the playoffs, what it's been four straight years now that they've been.
No. They actually, they got to the Eastern Conference Finals.
No, but I'm saying exiting out of the playoffs. What is it? 3 of the 4 have been in the Eastern Conference Finals. Right. But then this year, early exit. So when you look at that, you say to yourself, okay, maybe he's looking to hit the reset button from a mental standpoint. So he wants to take a step back from coaching, and it's an easier transition to kind of go upstairs, look at it from a different lens, and be able to say, okay, this is what I was doing wrong as a coach. This is what I need to improve on. Maybe that's the reason that they kick him upstairs. And then you got to look at the length of the contract. Does a guy who's under contract want to just say, you know what, I want to just relax, go fishing for a year or two before I wind up taking another job? Or do I want to still kind of be around the situation? So the best thing for me to do is go deal with the front office.
I've been saying this for multiple years now. Brad Stevens, a brilliant coach, X's and O's, not good at managing personalities. We've seen that, right? Great coaches get personalities to mesh, which is what makes his skill set perfectly suited for the front office. Think about when he was at Butler, he can handpick personalities and say, okay, I think your personality meshes with yours. Let me put these pieces together. Wasn't really in that position when he was the head coach. It was more Danny Ainge with draft picks, with free agent acquisitions, putting all that together. I think it's the right move for the organization. Now, another conversation is how he got there, though. The fact that not other coaches get the opportunity to transition into front office. But look, Brad Stevens is really smart. He's really smart. Mm-hmm. He's just not great at managing personalities.
So
he's not.
Okay.
And he won't have to do that when he's the general manager.
He needs somebody in the locker room.
Yes.
He needs that leader that can handle the locker room. I'll handle the X's and O's. I'll get you prepared. But I need somebody that's going to, have a hold of the room. And that group, there just isn't that kind of guy.
But he's not dealing with the X's and O's anymore. He's a front office guy.
Yeah, that's why it's strange.
Now what Jay is saying, essentially, personality-wise, he's got to find somebody who has his personality as a coach to be able to build the team with his personality. Because picking players, had he stayed on as a coach, Doc Rivers-like coach and front office guy, now he can pick the players that match his personality. The important thing for him is finding a coach that has his personality, or even a coach that he can understands personality to pick the players to mesh with him. Because just going upstairs and picking players, you got to make sure you're picking the right guys to mesh with that personality from a head coaching standpoint.